from Nashville, Tennessee. It's the Three. And here's your host, Laura Harris-Smith.
Hi everybody, I'm Laura Harris-Smith and welcome to The Three. I'm here today with a great guest. Now listen, you want to call everyone you know, text them, whatever you need to do, get on the phone with those folks that you know need to hear about coming out of addiction, coming out of just a hard lifestyle. But I'm telling you, you're gonna like our guest today because he's called the King of Clean, the King of Clean Comedy. Is this not, am I right?
I've never heard that before.
Oh, okay, I've heard this. I think it's on Amazon. The King of Clean Comedy. Okay, Jeff Allen, welcome to The Three.
Easy for you to say.
Easy for me to say. I do. I think I saw it on Amazon.
I've never heard that.
Well, you are. That's what you are. So welcome to The Three. And you're also an author. He has an incredible book. We're going to get into all of that today. Yeah. But I want to start with how did this happen? Who is Jeff Allen? Tell us how you got to the place where God had to rescue you. What was going on?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'll tell you the truth. My father sat me down at 14 years old, and I had just won an MVP award for a baseball all-star tournament.
Wow.
And I was admiring my trophy, and he said that at some point, if you advance, and the goal, you know, obviously the goal as a young kid was I wanted to play professional baseball. Mm-hmm. So he said, if you get to that level, somebody will come to you and say that God gave you those talents, and this is what you tell them. And he went off on gave me his view of the universe. There's no God. God had nothing to do with this. And he said what really bothered him the most is that they're never around for all the hard work. They don't see you playing in the 3 leagues and hitting hundreds of balls a week and doing all of that. Anyway, I bought it. I just started telling people there was no God or whatever. And within 4 years or 5, I was out of baseball. It was interesting in hindsight, looking back. It isn't as if God, you know, when I heard the term inspiration is God breathed. So God breathed into me the love for that game. It was not hard work. What he called hard work was not hard work. It was joy. And then it became work. It really did. But I started drinking not too soon after that.
Okay.
And I just say that God took his breath away. That's all. There was no injury. It was just all of a sudden my mind changed and my heart wasn't in it. And you know, I got to college, but by then I was already.
That's profound. Because there are a lot of people out there who are trying to do their job in their own strength. They're trying to approach their career in their own strength. That'll only take you so far.
I agree, and I think that's why a lot of people are, you know, miserable. It was interesting. I heard a pastor say once to his congregation, if you're a janitor in this room, if you do it for the glory of God, it won't be work, and you'll do the best work you can do if it's for the glory of God. So anyway, that's kind of, you know, so I started drinking at 14, you know.
14, wow.
Yeah. And by college, I was pretty much you know, drinking every day, and it was immediate with me. I whatever barriers I had up, the alcohol took down.
Okay.
So I immediately embraced. I came from a drinking family, so it wasn't. But anyway, I got into comedy at 22, and you know, I said if you like to nap, get a job at a mattress factory. If you like to drink, get a job in a bar. So I started working comedy clubs back in 1978, and then I met my wife in 85. We got married in 86, and I quit drinking in 87. So
was that a testament to her, or what happened?
Oh, I got violent with my 6-month-old son. We share this in the book. It was, you know, it was one of those things you kind of walk around. Tammy and I had discussions about it, about how to phrase it. He woke up crying, and anyway, the story I tell in the book was I had come home from a club about 2:30 in the morning and started drinking some more and doing some cocaine and trying to figure out why I was so miserable. I had all this guilt, and I realized it was the marriage and the kids. I didn't have this prior to that. So I really
You
made
didn't
a
have the
deci-
guilt prior to that?
Not at all. I
Okay.
drank. It's an interesting. I have
Makes
another
sense.
story I'll tell later
Okay.
about after I gave my life to Christ, when Jesus said, "I'll send you a new counselor in the form of the Holy Spirit, so don't worry about this life.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna navigate you through this, but you have to pay attention." So anyway, I just realized that it was the marriage. I wanted out. I wasn't even married a year, and I realized I'd made a mistake.
Wow.
So and again, you're insane. I mean, I want people to understand that. When you're in this position, you're insane.
Like temporary insanity.
So you have a diseased mind as well. And I thought if I beat her, she'll divorce me, and then I can get out of this thing and just send money. And I was standing over her. And that conscience that we all have, God gave us the conscience, comes in and said, this is wrong. I started wrestling with, and then my son started crying, so I went in the room and started spanking him, and she woke up and took him away from me and sat on the end of the bed and fed him. And it hit me like just a freight train that my little boy, what I could have done, the damage. So I told her, if you don't take me to Alcoholics Anonymous, I won't go, and if I don't go, I don't think we're gonna make it. I can't even imagine, because when I married her, she was a single mom. She had a 2-year-old from some other guy, and then she got pregnant about a month or two before the wedding. So she had 2 kids by 2 different men, and here's the second one after a year in going, I don't think we're gonna I can't imagine what she went through, but I was so self-centered and arrogant. So anyway, I went to a 12-step program, and they said, pray. I said, to what? And that really set me off on that's what the book is about.
That's what it was, huh?
It's that 7 or 8 year search for a point and a reference point to attach to. Even the atheist Sartre said, if for anything finite to have meaning, it has to be attached to something fixed and permanent.
Yeah, it does.
So if what gives you meaning in life is always shifting, then you'll never have anything if it means something to you.
Right.
And that was, all of a sudden, it was the most overriding thing in my life was, why does anything matter? And believe me, I was a borderline illiterate. I never read a book in my life. And then I'm 31 years old and became this voracious reader. And I would come home and tell Tammy, I think I found something. I'd read a self-help book or something, and I'd go, I think I found it. And the best description I can come up with, it was a spiritual thirst, and these things would quench it. Like if you're in a desert and you're thirsty and you get a little puddle and you take a sip, and you're like, this is it, I'm quenched.
I gotta have
but then
more.
it goes away. And nothing lasted. It was always, okay, well, that's not it. Then I'd go here. And at one point, a funny story I tell in the book was, I wanted to raise the kids Buddhist. I had 2 boys, and I was a rage freak. My father was a rage freak. I'm a rage freak. I said I didn't want angry boys. I didn't really want them to be angry men. And I thought of Buddhist. When's the last time you read about a Buddhist road rage incident? They seem pretty calm. So I come home and told Tammy I'm putting our boys into a monastery. She goes, over my dead body. And I said, oh, okay. Took her like 12 seconds to talk me out of it. That's how convicted I was, but it was...
Well, what I want to do when we come back is I want to talk about your book, which I don't think we've mentioned yet. Are we there yet? Your story is fascinating, and I want to talk about that moment when you came to redemption and really what changed everything. It sounds like it came through, started at AA, but I'm Laura. We'll be right back after the break. Stay close.
Some people don't yet realize that essential oils were put by God into our leaves, trees, flowers, and grasses on the 3rd day of creation, all to promote health, provide prevention, and yes, even cures. Other people get that, but maybe they've never had any real success with one particular essential oil, which is why I create oil blends, giving you a better chance for a positive result with numerous health benefits. But there's one thing we all agree upon, and that is that essential oils smell good. They fill up a room with any mood that you need, anytime that you need it. We call it aromatherapy. But maybe you don't know the science behind why aromatherapy works. You see, we inhale through our nasal passages, and the nasal passages have direct access to the limbic brain, which is the emotional center of the brain. This means that scent is immediately tied to mood, but that's good news because you can change your mood by merely changing the aroma in your room. It's like therapy in a bottle. And that's why we call it aromatherapy. At Neuromatics Oil, we take the business of aromatherapy very seriously. We offer you a wide variety of options: candles, diffuser sets, nasal inhalers, even diffuser jewelry so that you can wear your essential oils all day long. Quiet Brain for natural relief from insomnia, anxiety, headache, and more. Happy Brain to lift mood and even help with appetite suppression and depression. And Sharp Brain to help with focus and cognitive memory issues. Naturally, the oil blends themselves, applied topically on the skin, are going to provide faster and more potent relief. But if you're looking for a way to enjoy our oil blends without using them on the skin, aromatherapy is for you. And Neuromatics Oil has you covered. Go to neuromaticsoil.com today, or esse your phone and scan the QR code on your screen with your camera app, or call 1-855-784-3827. That's 1-855-QUIET-BRAIN.
1-855-784-3827. That's 1-855-QUIET-BRAIN.
Did you know that there are more than 600 Bible references to aromatic plants and essential oils? Did you know that once upon a time they were our only medicines? They're still medicine today. You see, God made plants and their essential oils to support your health. They're drug-free remedies that can be used from the comfort of your own home with little to no side effects. And although only 5% of natural products get patented, my oil blends, Quiet Brain, Happy Brain, and Sharp Brain, did, because third-party lab tests proved that they crossed the blood-brain barrier with potent relief for everything from migraines to memory loss, insomnia, anxiety, seizures, weight problems, even depression. So go to neuromaticsoil.com today to see my patented oil blends, and there are dozens of therapeutic products: healing lotions, bubble baths, nasal inhalers, even shampoo and conditioners, all created by our family for the health of yours. Go to neuromaticsoil.com or use your phone and camera app to scan the QR code on your screen, or call 1-855-784-3827. That's 1-855-QUIET-BRAIN.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to The3. I'm Laura. We're at NRB, the National Religious Broadcasters Convention, and here with Jeff Allen, author Jeff Allen. He's telling us his story. You have a book called Are We There Yet? First of all, let me tell you, when I saw the title, one of the books I wrote was called Get Well Soon, and I went to the publisher and they said, oh, that title's too common. Like, everybody knows that phrase. I was like, exactly. Like, that's okay. So tell us about Are We There Yet?
Well, it's interesting. When we came, the title, when I first heard it, but then I praying on it and whatever, and it really just kind of hit me that if you're on a journey with your parents as a child in the back seat, which is what this connotates, every person knows, whether you're a parent or a kid itself.
That's true.
You have no idea where the destination is. You have no idea how long it's going to take to get there. You have no information. So you're just constantly asking, are we there? Every time you stop, is this it? Is this? And I realized recovery was like that for me. I'd do a step in the 12 steps and I'd go, am I there? Am I there? I'm tired of being me. That was the statement that I always made to Tammy. I'm just tired of being me. Because I'd be good, decent for a while, and then I'd just lose it and smash things and break things and watch my wife cower in the corner and just, I want to be there. Even after we got in a relationship with Jesus, I would just go, when am I there? And then you realize you're never there. I mean, this side of heaven. So I wanted the subtitle. The subtitle they all picked.
Yeah.
I didn't pick
I know how that
this.
goes.
I want you to know. It said, my journey from a messed up to a meaningful life.
Okay.
That's the one they picked. I wanted, are we there yet? If we lived here, we'd be home now. Because, see, people laugh at it, but it's also, as a Christian, this is not your home.
Yeah, true.
You're not your home. This is not where we're going to ultimately reside.
Well, when did you come to Christ? What happened?
Well, after about 7 or 8 years, and just everything imploded. I mean, we had divorce papers filled out. And the first chapter of the book, I start with how I proposed, which was at the Cleveland Airport baggage claim. I wanted readers to fall in love with me as a romantic guy.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So anyway, I was on a red-eye flight from LA to Ohio and had the idea somewhere over Nebraska probably I had no ring and no plan. It was an impulse. And I always tell young men, I don't recommend this. I put the disclaimer down there, this is not the way to do things. I have paid the price for that proposal.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, the joke. I wanted the first chapter starts with that. I proposed to her, and then we end the first chapter with 8 years later. She is having an affair, and we're living in Arizona, And I find out about her affair, and I tell her to get home. And her friend calls me like 2 or 3 hours later, says, Tammy's too devastated, she's not coming home. And I believe this in my heart. If she'd come home that night, we would not be married today. I would have said things. You know, I love that James talks about the human tongue, and he compares it to a rudder on a ship. It's a small part of a larger vessel. And the tongue is used to curse and bless God's creation. So anyway, God had given me, I do have a gift of being able to do both. Tammy used to say, your anger is God's gift to the world.
Wow.
So anyway, she didn't come home, and I had one night alone with the God I didn't believe in. And
I see.
when I read about Jacob wrestling with God, this was the moment in my bedroom that night, just for 12 hours, just pacing like a caged cat. How could she? How could she? How could she? And every time I got righteous, God would remind me of, remember in Jersey, I stood on a stool one time in my kitchen and I yelled at her till she fell down and wept. And my son, I was putting him to bed, he's probably 7. Daddy, you win. I go, what do you mean I win? He goes, you yell, mommy cries. You win. Not one of my prouder moments. And, each one of those moments, though, kicked me into seeking different kinds of help. That one got me into therapy. And anyway, I had a whole night of that, just constant. They say when you die, and I believe I died that night, your life flashes before you. And my life as a husband and a father was out front and center, and I was exhausted. I picked her up at the airport the next morning, and she's tear-streaked, and we're just, you imagine. So anyway, I gave her a hug and a kiss, and she said, that's it, and I go, that's all I got. I'm exhausted, and we're a mess, and we have 2 children who need us. If you want what's in California, I'm not gonna stand in your way, but I said, I love you, I just don't know how to love. I just am trying. I really was.
Yeah.
I really was.
Yeah.
And anyway, we went home, and the chapter ends with, how did we get here? And that's kind of what we hope to answer throughout the book. And then I always tell people, you can get through the first 6 chapters without killing yourself. It's an uplifting tale.
You are such a juxtaposition, because you're this, hardcore, tough guy, but you've teared up 3 times sitting here, and so you're a softie inside, I know, as well. So,
well, I've always said, when the world breaks a man, they just leave him in the heap. And God breaks a man, he rebuilds him in his image in some way, and I believe we worship a tender, loving God. He has to be. He has to be.
That's amazing. All right, when we come back from the break, we're going to hear more about Jeff's story, and if you are someone who has an issue with addiction, or someone, during the break, get them watching, all right? Because we want to minister to you today. Stay close.
So you're on our website trying to select your favorite products, or maybe put a gift package together for a friend. Well, we've done the work for you. Our Pause package encourages rest and contains 1 Quiet Brain healing lotion, therapeutic bubble bath, and a Quiet Brain 50-hour burn candle. Our Uplift package gives you a real mood boost with a Happy Brain candle, healing lotion, and bubble bath. The Self-Care package contains the Quiet Brain healing lotion, bubble bath, and healing shampoo and conditioner. Our Awaken package is made with our Sharp Brain blend and includes 1 nasal inhaler, 1 dropper bottle of oil, 1 bottle of healing lotion, and a Sharp Brain candle. The Sweet Dreams package is popular because it contains 1 dropper bottle of Quiet Brain oil, 1 satin sleep eye mask, and a copy of my best-selling book, Seeing the Voice of God, what God is telling you through dreams and visions. And don't forget our Quiet Brain gift box, our best value, with a sampling of almost all Quiet Brain products. 1 Whisper Quiet Nightlight Diffuser, 1 dropper bottle of oil, a nasal inhaler, candle, shampoo and conditioner set, and even a satin sleep eye mask. But my personal favorite is our trio oil sets that allow you to sample all 3 of our patented Neuromatic oil blends while only paying for 2. They're available in dropper bottles, rollerball bottles, and our eyedropper pump bottle. Scan the QR code on your screen, go to neuromaticsoil.com, or call 1-855-784-3827. That's 1-855-QUIET-BRAIN.
1-855-784-3827. That's 1-855-QUIET-BRAIN.
Did you know that there are more than 600 Bible references to aromatic plants and essential oils? Did you know that once upon a time they were our only medicines? They're still medicine today. You see, God made plants and their essential oils to support your health. They're drug-free remedies that can be used from the comfort of your own home with little to no side effects. And although only 5% of natural products get patented, my oil blends, Quiet Brain, Happy Brain, and Sharp Brain, did, because third-party lab tests proved that they crossed the blood-brain barrier with potent relief for everything from migraines to memory loss, insomnia, anxiety, seizures, weight problems, even depression. So go to neuromaticsoil.com today to see my patented oil blends, and there are dozens of therapeutic products, healing lotions, bubble baths, nasal inhalers, even shampoo and conditioners, all created by our family for the health of yours. Go to neuromaticsoil.com or use your phone and camera app to scan the QR code on your screen, or call 1-855-784-3827. That's 1-855-QUIET-BRAIN.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Laura Harris Smith. You're watching The Three. We're here with author Jeff Allen, author of Are We There Yet? And you know what? I want to just tell you, if you are someone who has struggled with addiction, Jeff just told us a story. You just got very real and very vulnerable. You told us how, I mean, when God saved you, he saved you from something. Like you were on a path. Yeah, he saved you from yourself. You were on a path to destruction. You're still with Tammy?
I am 37 years now.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so then that tells me a lot about her. She's an incredible woman. When did she come to the Lord?
Well, it's interesting. I won't tell her. I told her story once. I thought I told her story once at a Gaither. I was touring with Bill Gaither.
Wow.
And we got back to the room that night. It was quiet, and any man knows when the wife gets quiet.
Yeah, yeah.
And she finally said, "If you're going to tell my story, get it right." And I went on the stage the next night, and I apologized to the audience publicly.
Wow.
I said, I owe you an apology. This walk with Jesus is a personal walk, and you want her story, you have to ask her.
Okay.
But I could say this because she wrote about it in the book. She was not treated well by her parents, who were Christians.
I see.
And so she had a history. So when I told her I was a believer, she said, "What does that mean?" And I said, "I'm to love you as Jesus loved the church." This is what I was told. Again, you're like an infant. You just come into this, you know. And she says, "What does that mean?" I said, "Well, my understanding is he died for us. So I'm to sacrifice."
This was after the years of abuse. So
Well,
she saw a change in you?
Yeah. Yeah, it took her about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, because I said, you don't have to come to church, you don't have to do anything, I'm just going to take the kids. And what really was kind of cool, my youngest son was probably 6, and I got saved in August, so we're driving around, and he says, have you accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior? He's 6 years old. I said, as a matter of fact, I have. And he said, when? And I said, in August. He goes, well, I did in June. And I said, well, aren't you the seasoned Christian?
My goodness.
Anyway, he would go to this Bible study.
Okay.
At this lady came over, asked us if it was all right if our kids went to her house on Saturday, and they did a little, and I said, I don't care, get them out of my hair.
And they were praying for you. This is
the
anatomy of how this thing happened.
And that's what he said, me and Miss Falcone, we prayed for you and Mommy and I never had a chance to thank her. They moved away. So that's
amazing.
Yeah, somewhere out there, a seed was put into a little kid's heart to pray for his mom and dad.
And so who are those people who are they're just opening their home and they think, oh, 3 people showed up and I'm not making any impact, and look,
that's exactly
that's amazing.
what I used to tell the churches when I'd work there. I go, ladies, you have no idea. You have no idea. Just honor your calling, whatever it is. And if
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off before we get away from the ladies. I had a Sunday school teacher when I was in 10th grade, and this would have been like in, I guess, 1980. And she said, now girls, you need to be praying for your husbands. Now, there are books on that now, but in 1980, nobody was talking about this that I knew of. And so we did. I started praying for my husband. I think it was, we already had 3 or 4 kids by the time I discovered this story. He had, in 1980, been coming through the city I was in to visit with his father and thought, maybe I should live here. And then he stayed. He never went back to where his mom was in Illinois. And so those little, you're big gatekeepers. I call you little gatekeepers, but those people who just open their homes and just have a table full of people or whatever. And now here you are. I mean, I highlight that because, and I wanted to ask how you came out of in the journey, because there are people who are listening who they feel so small. They don't know what they can do to help. first of all, give us your website because I want them to know where they can find you, and they can also invite you to speak, right?
Right.
I mean,
Oh,
okay.
absolutely.
So what's your website?
JeffAllenComedy.com.
JeffAllenComedy.com. And of course, as we said, he is the king of clean comedy. Go check it out on Amazon. I'm not kidding. It says you're the king.
That makes me feel so uncomfortable.
Is it not clean comedy?
It's clean.
Okay,
I'm
all
not
right,
the
good.
king. I'm not the king by any stretch.
Well, anyway, we've covered some pretty heavy topics here
But I'll
today.
tell you, that's the paradox or the
Yeah.
of I want to give God all the glory, but
Right.
then you have to self-promote, and it's this
I understand.
thing. So it's I do comedy, and I think I'm pretty good at it. I've been at it since 1978. So.
All right. Wow.
Yeah, but JeffAllenComedy.com, and
Okay.
I have 2 Amazon Prime specials they can go to, and anything on Dry Bar, Dry Bar Comedy, so they can research the comedy,
Okay.
and then
I can't wait.
and then I think my testimony's on YouTube. I have hair during the testimony, so when we tape that.
How are your boys today?
They're good. One's in Montana, one's in Tennessee, and
So there's redemption after all of this. I want people to walk away with that. I want them in our closing minute here
Oh,
to
absolutely.
know that God can turn this around.
yeah, I'll give you the best line on all of this. My wife said to me about 4 or 5 years ago, and it meant so much to me. She said, if I'd have known you were going to turn out the way you turned out, I would have had a bunch more children with you.
That's interesting. Isn't that interesting?
That is, so on one hand it says you were such a jerk, and on the other hand it says you're not that man anymore. So it made me feel good. We have 4 grandchildren that we can, that's enough. We can really pay attention to all 4 of them and love on them.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
Yeah.
All right then, guys. I'm going to tell you, if you have, you have so many different ways I could promote this, but I want to make sure we get this in. If you're someone who struggles with addiction, there is help for you. I want you to get Jeff Allen's book, Are We There Yet? There's going to be all kinds of, not just testimonies in there, but ideas, things that you can do. There's a way out. If you know someone, get the book for them. And as Marilyn Hickey says, books are like missionaries. So buy 2. They can go where you can't. While you're sleeping, they work. So do that, and then give us your website one more time.
JeffAllenComedy.com, and I would like to say this: addiction, the real sickness is isolation.
Isolation.
When,
That's true.
When they say you can do it alone, you can't. It's a group effort, and it's one day. And literally, these cliches will drive you insane. One day at a time.
Yeah, and
1 minute at a time.
The local church.
Right.
I mean, you get that. They say
you need a community.
They say it takes a village, but I've seen some people in the village and they didn't go to church. It takes a church to get people where they need to be in life, and get that army around you. All right, everybody, another great episode of The 3. We'll see you next time. I'm Laura Harris Smith. Bye-bye.